But Daji, when you mention this thing that sometimes it could be because of others also, others will that we probably have manifested something. Just for our users, let's say there's a 15-year-old kid who is watching this video and now he's little confused because he's just kind of starting off his life. He's going to step into professional world, materialistic world, everything. What would you suggest that 15-year-old kid at this point of time to?
If you want to follow your own destiny, follow your own heart.
Wow.
That's it. I give you a small example, but it happens in every single family, especially in India. Girl says, Dad, I'm in love with this boy. And what does father say? What's his name? What is he doing? Who are his parents? What is his caste? And then what happens? I cannot let you marry this boy. It doesn't fit with our society. Now, what happens there? Will she be happy in following or in obedience to parental advice? Never, because she had given her heart to someone.
Yes.
Now, she will not be happy, and if she is not happy, her husband will not be happy. The whole family will suffer. On the other side, the person whom she loved, he will also not be happy, and his wife will. So there is a cascading effect.
Okay.
So your biggest enemies, they are living with you in your own family. They think they are doing a justice. But whenever such parents hear that I am in love with such and such a person, happily get your son or daughter married to that person. Don't be a resistance. Don't be a wall. After all, whosoever you marry, there will be some hiccups. I am imperfect, isn't it? My wife is imperfect. And between two imperfect human beings living together, there is going to be noise. But when you love, at least that love element is there, you can subdue that noise to a greater extent. But if you are forced to marry, the noise will start. You will not have the ability to fine tune that sound. You will always blame someone. Because of him or because of her, I got into this mess.
Wow.
Isn't it? So
Correct.
don't be a wall between two lovers.
The thought which you have shared over here is really insightful, but I'm not very sure how many of them would understand the depth of what you have just said. Because a lot of people, even now, if you go into the Indian families, as you rightly mentioned, they still try to hold on to that barricade, specifically if it's an intercaste or if it's a love marriage. And they will always give this one example. So just wanted to understand your view that in our days, love marriages hardly used to take place. It was arranged marriages, and see how successful the arranged marriages are and love marriages.
Well, they are always together, no doubt, but find out if the happiness is there. Ask your parents also, are you happy? I see how happy you are every day.
Got it. Since you talked about happiness and since we are touching this marriage aspect, there's an interesting statistics which I came across, and that simply said that in 2019, 13 out of 1,000 used to do it, and now it has gone up by 400%. And I'm talking about divorces in India. Just in 4 5 years, it has gone up by like 400% from 13 out of 1,000 to now. What do you think? What could be the reason over here, and how we can tackle this thing in today's time?
Find out under what circumstances they were married.
Okay.
Right? When I love someone and I'm forced to marry somebody else, how long can it last with this sentiments of freedom to exist the way you would like to? So sooner or later, it's going to break down.
But Daji, what if in few cases we see some love marriages also break down?
There is another reason behind altogether.
Okay.
Well, you see, love demands incremental love. Love cannot remain static at one level. When I say incremental level, means love, the level of love must evolve. Dependency becomes kind of a slavery. There are two aspects in this equation. Love is there and dependency is also there. And there is a third invisible element of surrender is also there. Love demands surrender.
Wow.
In love, in true love, you consume yourself for the sake of others. And when your desire is there to be consumed for the sake of others, there is time comes when you feel I am being annihilated now in this whole relationship. Then you start retracting to protect yourself. I am getting consumed in this love. Because to that
Wow.
extent, the other person is also not being reciprocating, because the other person's speed may not be same as yours, though the love is there. But that love would like to get heightened. And as you heighten your love, only thing that happens is you surrender to each other. And no one is willing to surrender to be completely be consumed. They want to go up to this level. But love demands here becoming one. And becoming one happens only when this is destroyed or this is destroyed. And who likes to be consumed?
True.
You see?
True.
So the love marriages will succeed only when one is ready to consume oneself for the happiness of the other.
Wow. That's a very beautiful statement which you have mentioned. In fact, viewers, anybody who felt this line really effective, please write it down in the comment section. Daji, but I have one question, which is again, I hope you don't mind. There are a couple of more questions. A 29-year-old or a 30-year-old, let's say 29-year-old, the founder of Google, became a multi-billionaire at the age of 29. And on the other hand, since you mentioned in the start that one has to work hard, one has to do a lot of things. Is there any other way? Because these days, a lot of people talk about this buzzing word called manifestation or law of attraction and all these words. And there have been several people who are even teaching this thing. I'm not very sure those whom they are teaching, are they becoming rich or not, but they are for sure becoming rich by teaching how to become rich. But do you believe that our mind can actually manifest wealth, manifest prosperity? If yes, if you could run us through how in a brief.
There are things in the subtle realm, especially in the spiritual realm. It is very true that I am merging with God, for example, or I am nearing my goal in spirituality. It is definitely works. But for example, for my cook in my house to think that tomorrow, let me keep thinking every day I'll become a crorepati, crorepati, crorepati.
He won't become?
It won't become.
Okay.
Because there is a difference between authentic feeling versus ambitious feeling. In ambition, you are too superficial. In authentic feeling, it comes from the heart, and that will manifest.
Wow.
You keep thinking that I'm going to marry so and so because you had infatuation. Will it happen?
So one has to be realistic also.
Authentic about the reality of life. See?
Wow.